We are speaking to the one and only Barry Kerch, a drummer for Shinedown. And Barry, as I was telling you just before, last time we met was at a show in Montreal or in Laval, Quebec, a couple of years ago. And I have to say, your band live is fucking phenomenal. I mean, there's just something phenomenal about that presentation. So before we get to the video and all this, just talk to me about the importance of the live shows, because you've had to sit a few out, but how important is that for you to take that music to the stage and not just be a studio band?
It's extremely important.
Right.
People pay a lot of money to go to shows,
Yeah.
and it's not getting any cheaper. And we really took it upon ourselves very early on in our career to put on the best show we possibly can. Our job is to entertain and to give people an escape for the hour and a half or whatever it is that we're on stage. And we take it extremely seriously. We go into rehearsals, we'll rehearse for, if we haven't done it in a while, probably for a full week, just making sure our production's together, making sure the songs are together, lighting, everything is very important to us. And it's paramount because we want to put on the best show. And that also, that's given us a career that's lasted about 20 years now, and hopefully will last another 20, 30 years, because we do still care about our show. We're not just up there going through the motions. We're up there. We mean what we do.
You do. And obviously the band has great songs. We're not going to debate that. You have great songs. But how
Thank you.
important, again, just was it to get from the club to the theater to the arena? I mean, is it the songs that got you there? Is it the live show that got you there? Or is it just really both?
I think it's a combination of both of those. I mean,
Okay.
songs definitely help,
Of course.
and then it's putting in the time and the work.
Right.
We've never said no to just about anything. We work really hard and consistently work hard, and are always trying to outwork what we did last time. So I think it comes down to nothing's ever given to you. You got to work for it.
Absolutely. So let's get into attention. The video or the movie that's going to be a video on demand as of September 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
It is described on the poster or on the the paperwork here as a visual journey through the album. Explain the choice of those words. So it's not necessarily a collection of just random videos, and it's not a movie. It's a visual journey.
Right.
Explain that term and what does that mean for the fan?
Sure. So early on in the writing process of Attention, we once the song started coming together, we realized that it was going to be more of a concept than just a group of songs. These songs are going to go to each other and tell a story. And in that, we knew that we wanted a visual to go with that. We wanted to create something that encompassed the whole record and that journey that the record takes you through lyrically and song wise. So when we got with Bill Ukick, the director of the video, that was the initial concept before we made video one for the record. Was this isn't just going to be a music video. This is going to be a collection that we want you to head up and create a visual representation of this whole record. So when you finally get to see the movie or whatever we want to call it, I don't know what to call it anymore either. It's been called many different things in its iteration.
A visual journey. That's what we're
Our
going with.
visual journey. Yes, that sounds very fancy.
It's very artsy. Well done.
Yeah, it's very artsy. And you know what? I think the journey is a little artsy, and I think it's cool because I'm not a video person. I don't enjoy the process of making videos.
Right.
I like to play shows. I'd never be a great actor, and in doing this, it really pushed all of us in our limits a little bit because this was Bill's direction, and he is a Hollywood guy, and took us on this journey with him to, yes, the band is in the videos, the band is there, but we're not the main characters.
Right.
The journey is about other characters and what they go through and their struggles, trials, and tribulations to culminate into what is a hopeful ending. So that's kind of the idea behind it. And it was Bill's vision of our songs and our talking to him, and he was able to put that into what this is.
To what this is. Talk to me just real quick about concept records, because you go back in time and you have Operation Mindcrime and you have Judas Priest Nostradamus and you have all kinds of other concept albums. Was that something that you had set out to do? Did the songs just lead that way? And for a band that is relevant like you are on radio, was it a bit dangerous to sort of say, okay, we're going to forego singles and we're going to have story? Talk to me about that and where you just went, no, we got to do this. It's working.
Yeah, again, it goes back to the early writing part of it. We never write. Here's the difference, I think, between us and maybe some other bands, or even like Mindcrime or something like that. Mindcrime was a story about a fictional thing, and it was wonderful, one of my favorites. But that's what it was.
Right.
This wasn't that. This was the story of basically us and what we've gone through. Because when Brent's writing lyrics, because he is the main lyricist, he's writing from personal experiences and what he's seen. And right. That's been the history of Shinedown. And I think that's one of the reasons people connect to us so well is these are true stories and people have lived these, and you can put your own person into that song and whatever you've been through.
Right.
Song Monsters and things like that. My Monsters Are Real. That's talking about dealing with these guys in your head and the addiction or whatever that is that you have. And our band has suffered through a lot of those. It's no secret that Brent was an addict. It's no secret that Eric struggles from severe depression. Yep. That song is initially about, but then we put it on another character when it comes to the visuals. So when this record was coming together, we realized we were talking about all these demons that we had been dealing with and all these things we had been going with, and social media and all these things that were just a culmination at that point in time back in 2018 when that and 17 when that song was being, or that record was being written. That was a snapshot of us then. Just like the new record, when we finally get that one out, it'll be a snapshot of what we're going through at those points. Right. Because we don't know how to write any other way. We don't write fictional stories. And in writing it, that's how we knew, wait a minute, these all connect. And that's why we made it a concept or a story record, is just because it was our story and it connected. And we wanted to have it that way for the fans out there.
For the fans. Did you enjoy that process, or do you like sort of let's do a 4-minute song and then let's do another 4-minute song and let's do, like, what's your preference for recording? Did you look back at attention and go, you know what, that's something, that's significant. It's not just, she loves you, yeah, and move on to the next one.
Right. It was bold, and at first I was like, much like you said, it's taking a risk, and we're like, do we, right. Your head could be on the chopping block for sure by taking a risk in this business, especially when everything nowadays is single driven and look who just dropped a track and the rest of the record's nothing to some people. We just can't do that. I guess in a way we're stuck old school in that you write an album, you write a collection of songs. You don't write a song to know that it's going to be played in a commercial somewhere. Some people like that, and sure, it pays the bills. That's just not who we are. Right. We write songs that matter.
But there's nothing wrong with doing that, because I hear fans all the time going, "Oh, they're a sellout, and I go, "The sellout? That's the whole point of a career, is to be successful." Like, what are you talking about?
They're making money creating their art. Yeah, I love it.
I know.
I would never discount that. If brand X comes up to us and goes, "Hey, we think that song would really be good on a commercial for us," I'd be like, sure, you're going to pay us? Let's do that.
Take it. Because the people, Metallica's Black Album is celebrating its, 30 years coming up this week. And people are like, oh, they sold out. And it's like, good.
Absolutely.
That's
we
the
all
whole
have
point.
bills to pay. This is a business. It's a music business that we are lucky enough to be successful in. Well, that comes with making some of those decisions.
Yeah. It's like being a baseball player and going, oh, no, I don't want to go to the major leagues. I'm happy in AA ball.
Yeah,
no.
I'm never going to hit a home run. I'm never going to strive for that.
No, yeah, forget that. In terms of the next album, do you go back to that sort of formula, or do you say, all right, well, we did one story album, let's make another story album? Where are we in terms of that, and how do you sort of see this?
Yeah, I don't think this next one coming out will be a story record, though it is a story of what we've gone through.
Right.
It's not a concept. I think this one, it's a sign of the times in a way. It's a little aggressive. Good. It's a little commentary-ish we're not a political band. That's not who we are.
Good.
But, you couldn't do anything, see anything without being locked down, COVID, et cetera, just the world going crazy. So that's kind of some of what we wrote about, but there's also, it's Shinedown. There's the hopeful moments. There is the Shinedown ballads. That's what we do. Right. But the songs that are rock songs are very aggressive and in your face, and intentionally so, because everybody's kind of right now, and you need that released. Again, that's what our job is to give people that. And then I'm excited about it. We had a really, really fun time recording. Really, since Threats of Survival, it's gotten more and more fun, because it used to be the pressure keg of recording and things changing and just different personalities at a time. I think we've grown into a better recording band. And this time was a blast making this record. We broke in Eric's new studio. There was just a good vibe overall. So the songs are done. We're in the mixing mastering process right now. That's why Eric has extra gray hairs at the moment. Because he's driving himself crazy because he's a perfectionist, and that's why we love him.
I don't know. Don't be a perfectionist. Just do like the Beatles or the Stones or Sabbath. Record in 9 hours and throw it out there, and then figure out all the mistakes later.
You can tell him that. We cannot.
I will text him later. Let me ask you this: since the songs are always honest, and you've talked about depression, you've talked about dealing with that. At some point, when you get past that, you get over it, and your life moves on, does it become difficult to sing those songs? Does it become difficult to go back to that space? Because, if I was Eric, and I'm better 5 years later, I don't know if I'd want to go back and sing about how miserable I was 5 years ago. Does that come up? Do you at some point say, maybe we should write a "She Loves You," yeah, fluffy stuff?
You know what? Maybe someday we will. I don't know. Sometimes, for me personally, looking back on some of the early songs and remembering just the different time, and we even had a different lineup at the time, and remembering those time periods can be bittersweet.
Right.
And all those stories that you have over a 20-year career, there's bittersweet moments. But I think all of us are able to really turn that off because, maybe that song means something to me or was about me or written about me. Who cares? Because that person in the audience that's connecting to that song, It means the world to them. Right. And you can really turn that off and give them the best version of that song. Even if sometimes it pains you to play it, you realize that it's giving that person what they need. Yeah,
because I can see it as being difficult where, in 10 years down the road, you go, all right, we're not playing Get Up anymore. I mean, forget it. I'm done with that, Talk to me about that connection with the fans, because when I was at that Montreal show, Eric was kind enough to give me an all access. I walked around and I had a chance to speak to people in the audience, and they were uniformly talking about how those songs speak to them. Is that important to have that sort of interpersonal connection? And do you respect it and go, you know what? I don't care if I have COVID tonight. I got to go out there and give that kid the best fucking show ever because it means something to them.
For this band and for us, yes, that means everything to us. For us, that is of utmost importance, is that connection with the fan. And
the Wi-Fi there seemed to have squelched for a second.
That thing, because important. For the fans, it's the utmost importance. Other bands can do what they do, and maybe they don't want the connection with their audience. For us, that is the biggest drug on the planet, and it means everything to us. So it's just how we do things, and we wouldn't have it any other way, honestly. I think if we lost that spark or didn't want to do that anymore, it's time to hang it up for us.
Yeah, well, listen, I love what you do. So let me talk to you just real quick. We hear often about, rock is not doing so well and blah, blah, blah. I hate that stupid thing. You guys are doing, it's ridiculous. You're maybe it's not on the Billboard top 10, but whatever. But you're doing 50 million views, 30 million views. When you got into this, 20, 25 years ago, did you think about that and say, okay, maybe we should be more of a pop band, maybe we should be more like Nickelback, maybe we should, or did you just sort of say, no, we're just going to rock, and I don't care if I play a bar the rest of my life?
The latter. We did what we do, and here's the thing. You can't change Brent's voice. It is very distinct. It is who he is. Yeah. And that's what we back up. I mean, my job is I'm a backup musician and I'm proud of it. That's what I do, is hold the foundation for the band. We have to be who we are, and we've been compared to a million things and been called a million things and told we'd never make it. And here we are still selling out 15,000, 20,000 seaters. Rock isn't dead. It's just...
Oh, that's such a stupid thing, that whole rock is dead. I mean,
it's just dumb. And all it is the tastemakers in the major city here and there and right there that only listen to whatever is the coolest thing right now and alternative, which let me tell you something, and this is not to poop any of those bands out there, but there isn't many alternative bands on those charts that can sell out a club.
Right.
So it's, unless you're in major city A or B, the rest of the country and Canada want rock and roll and still go to shows. And it is very apparent. It's just your media outlets that are just full of shit, really.
You know, if anything, and maybe you'll understand the comparison, maybe rock has just gotten to that point where you're like jazz, you know, where people just go, and every city has a jazz festival and they're always sold out, you know, but maybe jazz is not playing the Enorma Dome. Okay, but that jazz fest is fucking full. So,
yeah, maybe so. Maybe it's that way. And, you know, it's different in every place you go. You know, if you're in the Midwest, it's rock and roll all day long. You go overseas, that's a whole nother vibe, and rock and roll is definitely not dead over there. So again, I think it's a bullshit statement. It really is.
Let me ask you quickly about overseas, because I'm an older fan, and the music I buy now is mostly all from the UK, from Germany. I'm all into Thunder and FM and all these bands from over there. How important is that market to you? Because you look at bands, you know, like REO Speedwagon and Night Ranger and Journey from the Old, and they never really made an imprint over there. They just sort of became American bands. Ted Nugent is an American band. How important is it for you to get over to Wacken and to Hellfest and to France and Germany and say, we're a world band, we're not an American band?
It's extremely important for us. There's a cool difference, and not to say that our fans here aren't very loyal, but the UK and European fans, if they latch onto a band, it's because they really like your music. It has nothing to do with looks, has nothing to do with anything aside from they love your music, and they stick with you forever.
Yep.
You know, you got bands like Halloween that couldn't sell a ticket here in the US that have huge followings over there still because somebody latched onto them early and they love them. Look at Blackstone Cherry from here in the United States, who is one of our great friends and a wonderful Southern band that really has a hard time here. They're selling out, you know, massive places in the UK because they latched onto them. They love it. And that's their place. You know, Europe and the UK, it's very important for that because they are a lot more loyal. It's not just what is the hit today.
I know they stick with you like forever. I mean, one of my favorite bands is Thunder. And in the States, you say Thunder and people go, who's that? You go to the UK, they're playing 9,500 people.
Absolutely.
You know,
look at Biffy Clyro. They're huge over there and a wonderful band. They don't do much over here.
So do you spend a lot of time focusing on that? Do you have like a special management team over there? How do you sort of focus your attention for that market? Because it is one where, as you say, once they love you, they'll stick with you. Just, I mean, ask Judas Priest, ask Iron Maiden, 40-year, fans for 45 years.
Yeah, it's difficult, and it's difficult initially, and it still is difficult. Two things: financially, it's very expensive to get over there and go do a club circuit. You know, it's ridiculously expensive.
Yeah.
And difficult. You know, just the busing and the traveling is very different than what is here in the U.S. We have the same management over there, but we have a different booking agent who really knows the venues over there and knows the bands over there and what we'd fit with. You know, John Jackson is his name. He was the one that put us on with Iron Maiden on their big UK run that they hadn't done in 11 years. And we got to open for Maiden, which was a bucket list thing for me, one of my favorite bands. And we had to work for it. Their fans are much like Kiss fans, where they're there to see that band and nobody else. So they literally would turn their back on you in the first few songs.
As a Kiss fan, I can tell you that's true.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm cool with that because that means they're loyal to their band. But I'll tell you, by the end of that run, we won a lot of them. And now when we go back to the UK, a lot of those Maiden fans are now Shinedown fans as well. It's important, and it's a different look over there. And you have to have somebody that knows those areas better. And you got to keep going back. You know, even if it burns the wall a little bit, you have to keep going back. You know, we've got plans to go back next year for the festival season, and then plans to go again in the fall for a headlining run that we're putting together right now, as long as they open up and let us go.
Right. And just to give some perspective to fans, I was having a chat with Brian Tatler of Diamond Head, and they came over to North America, and they did a run of 27 shows in 30 days. And I said, well, why you do? You're gonna kill yourself. He said, you don't understand. Before we even land, it has cost us $40,000 of licenses, or what? Not licenses, but passports and all. And it's like $40,000.
Visas and everything.
Visas, that's the word I'm looking for. Thank you. Yeah, it's like it's $40,000 before they played the first show. They were minus 40 before the first show, and it's like we don't have a choice. We got to play all 30 nights, or we're fucked.
Yeah. It's the same for us going overseas, and then you've got the bus laws, and you have to get tandem drivers because you can only go so far, and then they shut the buses down, and you got your stuff, and then getting on the different ferries to get to the different countries, and each country has its own little thing and their tax system. I'm glad we have people in better positions than me that know how to do taxes.
Oh, and they love to tax. They will literally sit at the show and go, before you get that check, you hand me over the 15,000. You're like, oh God. I've seen that.
Take their cut off the top.
I've seen that, and it's just like, man, they don't even wait for you to file anything. They just sit there at the show and go, come on.
Oh, how many t-shirts did you sell? Yeah, we'll take 20%. Thanks.
Yeah, I know the good stuff. Just quickly back to this. You're not actors, and you've done this visual representation of the album. Was that a process you enjoyed? Is that a process that you want to repeat? Do you like making videos for YouTube, or are you just like, oh, fuck it, just let me play. I don't want to do this nonsense. Hurry up and wait 12 hours to record a 3-minute song.
Right. I think that's a point of contention in the band because I hate making videos. I personally do.
Right.
I never had the want to be an actor. I just want to play my instrument. And here's the thing, being a drummer making a music video, those drums are stuffed and silenced. Those cymbals are 2 cymbals glued together. So when you hit them, they don't make a bunch of noise.
Or taped or whatever.
And it hurts like a son of a bitch. It hurts to play those things over and over and over again. Going into making this film, I was very nervous, and then being put in positions where I was acting and not playing my instrument was, sweating bullets for me. And Bill, the director, was very cool and very supportive, and then the actual actors that were there were very supportive and made it a joyful experience to where at the end I was very thankful to Bill and to all of them and to my band guys. You know what? You put me in a very uncomfortable situation that I don't like, and we made it through, and I think I did good.
Right.
And
are they there going, Barry, you can do it. Come on, Barry, you can do it. You got this, Barry.
No,
we're
much tougher on each other than that. We're much tougher on each other. Hey, man, get up there and don't fuck up. Okay, good luck.
Yeah,
good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
But it was good at the end. I gained even more of a new respect for people that are actors and can put on those, they're professional liars. They can be anybody. They can be anything. I don't know that I have that, nor do I strive for that. We'll continue to make videos because 1, Brent loves it, and 2, you have to have a visual out there. You have to have your candy for the outlets, the YouTubes, etc. out there. So yeah, we'll keep making them. Will we do another film like this? I don't know. There's no plans in the near future for sure.
Is it a film or a visual journey? We don't know.
Visual journey film.
I'll finish on this with 2 questions. Eric, of course, your band member, produces your albums. Is there an innate danger in that you don't have outside ears to maybe say, hey, come on, let's try something? Or is it brilliant where you go, he knows what we want and he's going to get it?
It could be both. And I think it can be a nail in the coffin for a lot of bands that go, hey, we're going to self-produce. Here's the thing. Before Eric was even in the band, he was a producer.
Right.
So he's been cutting his teeth as a producer for many, many years, and we have a lot of trust in him. And number 2, we still have the outside voices that we trust. Our engineer that comes in, Doug McKean, who's been with us in Sound of Madness before Eric was producing with us, he has an opinion, he has a voice, and he's able to go, hey man, that sounds like shit, or that sounds great. Let's try this. Let's do this thing. And then we have Steve Robertson, who's our A&R guy from Atlantic, who's been with us since before Shinedown was named Shinedown. He was in radio before. He's got a great radio ear, and he's got a great ear for music. He will be upfront and honest with you and go, yeah, we got it, or we don't have it. Same with management, same with the rest of the labels. So we have enough outside voices and appreciate the outside voices to where I don't think we fall into that pitfall, but some bands have, because they will completely seal them off, and then they come out with some sort of jazz odyssey, and that's not who they are.
I know exactly what you're talking about, but
Yeah.
because it can be dangerous, but also sometimes being with a producer can be dangerous. If you're with Mutt Lang or Bob Ezrin and they just do their thing, well,
Yeah.
that ain't good either. You need
No,
sort
I
of a
mean,
give and take.
I don't see us ever being able to do a record with what's his name that did all the Rage records and Slipknot. He's the Vibe guy. I'm
Rick
blanking
Rubin?
Yeah, Rick Rubin. He's not somebody I think we could ever make a record with because we don't work that way. We don't make it a vibe room and light a bunch of candles and, hey, what are you feeling today? Oh, I feel yellow. Let's make a yellow song. We go in as if it's a hospital room and we got to get work done. And that's the way that's just how we focus on things. So you definitely have to have the personality with the outside producer if you have one. And there's been knockdown, drag out fights with some of them over the years. Right. But, with Rob Cavallo, who did Sound of Madness, that was a tough time for us. The band had split. Brent was insane. I was trying to just hold everything together. Rob Cavallo was like, hey, we got to make this record. And we did butt heads quite a few times, especially going into Amaryllis. But the end result was one of our best records to date. And I think it's because of the chaos that was going on at the time. If you hire on the producer, you just got to trust in their vision because you hired them to have the vision as your producer.
Right. But does Eric sit there and go, this could really use more bass in the mix? Just a little bit more. A little bit.
Fun fact about Eric, he hates bass guitar.
Oh, does he?
He plays bass, but he's actually a guitar player, but he hates bass guitar.
Well, hey, poor guy. And then I'll finish on this. You took to Instagram on August 5th, and you revealed to the world a COVID. Whatever. You revealed that you had COVID. Yeah. How was that experience for you? I mean, you seem fine. So are you over it? Are you 100%? Are you still like, are you joining the tour in September? What's sort of the deal?
I mean, I'm over it. I test negative and everything else. Do I still have some residuals? Absolutely. I'd say I'm about 90%. I still have weak taste, weak smell, weird things, brain fog occasionally. It kind of comes and goes in and out. It's funny. I got my 2 Pfizer shots back in April and then still got it. And it knocked me on my ass for about 3 days where I was sick and then slowly let up. But the residuals, they're there. That long COVID thing or whatever that people talk about, it's a true thing.
Right.
I'm able to function. I'm able to do what I need to do. I'd love to be able to taste food properly again because I love to cook and eat. But I'm just glad, it could have been much worse for me and I'm okay. And I'm definitely going out on the road.
Yeah, I can't even imagine what not tasting food would be like. That's frustrating.
It was the strangest thing. And you know what I taste more than anything now is salt or sweet. Nothing in between. But if, say, I eat, I don't know, a soup and it's very salty, that's all I taste. Really? That's all you taste, salt, where you just don't want it. It's just a salt block. It's the weirdest thing.
Wow, that is, I can't even imagine that. That's terrible. And I see Jonathan Davis of Korn out there the other day with the oxygen mask during songs, and it's just like,
yeah. Oh, for a singer, detriment. I mean, I had
well, for a drummer, you have to have good lungs. I mean, you have to be able to move your arms and legs for an hour and a half.
My cardio back's been weird. It's definitely weird. It does something to your lungs. It does something to your cardio because you've seen the show, we're a very aggressive live band. And we work out like monsters for the shows. And it was humbling. It's been humbling.
Wow. Well, listen, I hope you fully recover. But of course, at this point, nobody knows if you can fully recover or not. As you say, this long COVID and.
Yeah, I'm going to continue to do what I do. And, the best thing I can do is take care of myself food wise and keep working out and keep exercising. And I think the best medicine for me is to play shows personally. Yeah.
And hopefully we'll get you back to Montreal at some point and we'll come say hello and we'll have another.
I know we're planning on it for next year. I just don't know with the lockdowns if it's going to happen or not. So.
Yeah. And we just started vaccine passports yesterday as a law, which means that nobody can go unless they've had their vaccine. So I don't know. We'll see how that works out. It's a strange.
It's also fluid right now. It's
just
so
strange
weird.
stuff.
It's so fluid.
Yeah.
But we'll make it through. That's what we got to do.
Yeah. And, you know, I report on rock every day, and my last like 3 weeks has been, oh, the Doobie Brothers canceled today. Oh, Air Supply canceled today. Oh, Shinedown canceled. Or Kiss
It's
canceled.
so
Oh,
frustrating.
and it's just like, for fuck's sake. Like, it's just, it even sucks to be a reporter because I want to tell you about the new album. I want to tell you about the new concert. I want to tell you about the new merch. And all I'm
Yeah.
telling you about is canceled,
Nope.
canceled,
Nope.
canceled.
Nope.
And it's very negative, and it's just, I
I'm
don't
over
like
it.
Yeah.
I'm over it. We're not canceling any shows unless the venue cancels on us.
Right. Well,
That's the way we're
hopefully you
doing
can get out there and rock the world. And thank you, sir. And of course,
it. Yeah.
the attention. We'll call it a movie. Available
Movie.
video on demand on September 3rd. So there you go. Merci bien, as we say in Montreal.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for taking the time. And I hope we can see each other face to face in the near future.
Yes, once again. I don't know when was that tour? 2019?
Yeah. I think it was
What was the bill? Papa Roach?
Papa Roach. Was it spring of 2019?
Mm-hmm.
This is when I need Zach. Zach has a photograph from memory when it comes to dates. I can literally say, hey, Zach, where were we August 5th in 2012? And he will tell us the venue and where we're at.
Oh, that's great. But it was 3 bands, I think. It was Papa Roach, Shinedown, and somebody else, if I'm not mistaken. Was it Stone Temple Pilots?
No.
Oh, whatever. It was a great night.
I don't remember yesterday's. a couple years ago.
Well, there you go. Well, thank you, sir. Always a pleasure, and we'll do this again soon.
Thank you. Thanks for taking the time.
Absolutely. Cheers.
Cheers.
There we go. Perfect.
Awesome.
Did I stop the recording? Let me stop the recording.